Hello everyone, myself Lokesh, studying in first year CSC Cybersecurity in Venkateshwara College of Engineering, Bengaluru. Today's subject is Engineering Chemistry and my topic is corrosion and types of corrosion. Corrosion, the spontaneous deterioration and consequent loss of a metal or alloy due to chemical reaction attacked by the environment is called corrosion. Example, the rusting of iron or green cells formed on the copper vessels. Types of corrosion. Corrosion is classified into wet corrosion and dry corrosion. Wet corrosion. It is also known as electrochemical corrosion. Wet corrosion involves reactions in aqueous solution medium. The conducting surface of the metal undergoes an electrochemical reaction with the moisture and oxygen present in the atmosphere and it forms wet corrosion. Example, rusting of iron. Dry corrosion. It is also known as chemical corrosion. Dry corrosion involves the direct attack of metals by gases mainly through chemical reaction. It occurs by the direct attack of atmospheric gases such as oxygen, hydrogen, sulfide, halogen, sulfur dioxide and metals forming an oxide layer. Example, when the dry gas attacks on the metal, it forms an oxide layer. It is known as dry corrosion. The dry corrosion is further classified into differential metal and differential aerial corrosion. Differential metal corrosion. Differential metal corrosion occurs when two dissimilar metals are in contact with each other and exposed to corrosive conducting medium. Here, the metal with lower electrode potential acts as anode and undergoes oxidation and gets corroded, whereas the metal with higher oxidation potential it acts as cathode and get reduces and it does not gets affected. This type of corrosion is known as galvanic or differential metal corrosion. The cell reactions are at anode, oxidation takes place. Here, the metal give rise to Mn++ an electron. At cathode, the 2H plus 2 electrons give rise to H2. It is in the absence of oxygen. Whereas in the presence of oxygen, 2H2O plus O2 plus 4 electrons give rise to 4OH minus. The examples are tin coating copper vessels, steel pipe connected to a copper plumbing, and the bolt and nut made of different metals. In this case, the bolt gets corroded whereas the nut remains unaffected. Differential aerial corrosion. The metal is exposed to a different concentrations of air or oxygen. A part of a metal exposed to lower concentration of oxygen becomes anodic and undergoes corrosion, whereas the other part of the metal exposed to higher concentration of oxygen becomes cathodic and remains unaffected. This kind of corrosion is known as differential aeration corrosion. Example, iron rod partially immersed in NaCl solution. A part of metal immersed in the solution exposed to lower concentration of oxygen becomes anodic and gets corroded, whereas the part of the metal outside NaCl solution is exposed to more oxygen and becomes cathodic and remains unaffected. The other examples are the part of a nail inside the wall undergoes corrosion. When a dust particles sits on a metal bulb, a part of undergo corrosion. Next, waterline corrosion. When a steel tank is partially filled with water for a long time, the inner portion of the tank below the waterline is exposed only to dissolve oxygen, whereas the portion above the water is exposed to more oxygen. Thus, the portion below the waterline acts as anode and undergoes corrosion. The upper part acts as cathode and remains unaffected. Here, a distinct brown line is formed just below the waterline due to the deposition of rust, and this is known as corrosion. The cell reactions are at anode, the M give rise to Mn plus n electrons. At cathode, 2H2O plus O2 plus n 4 electrons give rise to 4OH minus. Finally, the ions combine with to form the corrosion product. Examples, the ships which remain partially immersed in a seawater for a long time undergoes waterline corrosion. And the next is fatigue corrosion. This is a type of corrosion observed when a dust particles or oil droplets deposited over a metal surface. Fatigue corrosion results when the portion of the metal covered with the dust which is less aerated becomes anodic and undergoes corrosion to form a pit. The remaining area of the metal which is exposed to higher oxygen becomes cathodic and remains unaffected. The cell reactions are at anode. If a Fe, that is iron, give rise to Fe2 plus 2 electrons. At cathode, half O2 plus O2 plus H2O give plus 2 electrons give rise to 2H minus. and the overall net reaction is Fe2 plus 2OH minus gives to FeOH twice. This is ferric oxide and which is the product of the rust. Thank you friends.